Yes.
Okay, sure. Just a couple of changes here. We won't have anything from SA at the beginning, SAA from the beginning, since Shwet won't be able to join. Probably start the session and then hand it over to you, and you as a team out can take it forward from there. Sounds good, Pranali?
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
Okay. All right. A very good afternoon and a warm welcome to each and every one of you to the Radisys SoundBytes session 161. Today is a special session. It is an open session. We have a keynote speaker with us, a very distinguished speaker, distinguished Toastmaster Vidyut with us. Thank you, Vidyut, for taking out time for us and coming and joining us today. Just to set the context right, so today's is an open session where we will try to introduce you to the journey of Toastmasters. I'm sure for many of you today might be the first time you're joining Toastmasters, and we hope that we can really encourage you to keep joining us. Try to generate the curiosity about Toastmasters, try to learn about Radisys SoundBytes Toastmasters Club, and please do join us for the session. So we at least catch up twice a month, and we are catching up every Tuesdays, and we are planning to increase the number of sessions as well. More communication on that will come shortly, especially to those of you who are really interested to be part of our journey. Now with that, welcome once again to today's open session. And for today's session, we have as a Toastmaster of the Day, Pranali Mane with us, who will be the Toastmaster of the Day. And just to quickly introduce Pranali in my words, Pranali is one of the most active members currently we have of Radisys SoundBytes Club, and I really hope she can really influence many of you to be part of our journey. I've seen herself grow, like how she started from the beginning in Toastmasters and where she is right now. It's really inspiring, her journey is. And she had even represented the club in the international speech contest that happened in the area level very recently. And she was the one who represented the SoundBytes Club for that. Kudos to you, Pranali, on that. And with that, I hand over the session to you, Toastmaster of the Day, Pranali. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Sharad. Thank you, President. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm so sorry that I have to join online, but I hope I would be able to connect with all of you present of online, offline as well as online. So, hi, myself Pranali, and I'm delighted to be your Toastmaster of the day for today's session. So, let me start with something very relatable. Can any of you tell me how many of you felt that life was completely different 2, 3 years ago compared to today? Like you can raise hands if you feel so. Exactly. The way we work, the way we communicate, the way we even learn anything that has been changed over past few years, right? In fact, study says that the skills we used to have today have a self life of just about 5 years, which means adapting is no longer optional. That's why today's theme is changes new constant. So with that, let me give you brief about today's agenda. So today's session is designed to help us not just accept change, but to grow through it. So we have one powerful educational session, and then we'll be having one prepared speech, and then an insightful evaluations given by our evaluation team. So now, as a Toastmasters meeting runs smoothly because of our role players, let me introduce them. Our timer, who helps us to practice one of the most important professional skill, that is time management. I am very sure that we all agree on this, right? So let me introduce our timer for today, Toastmaster Gaurav. Over to you, Toastmaster Gaurav, to explain your role.
Thank you, Toastmaster Pranali. Good afternoon, everyone. Today I'm playing role of timer. As a timer, my role is to time all the speeches which will happen during the meeting. So today we have two speeches. One is the education session, which is for 20 minutes. And for that, after 20 minutes, I will show the green card. After 21 minutes, I will show the yellow card. And after 22 minutes, I will show the red card until speech is finished. And then we have another speech, which is level 5 P3 speech. So for that, timing is 12 minutes. For that speech, after 10 minutes, I will show the green card. After 11 minutes, I will show the yellow cards. And after 12 minutes, I will show the red card until speaker finishes speech. So this is all about the timing rules. I hope this session will be very exciting and we'll learn a lot from it. And at the end of the meeting, whenever I will be called, I will present my report. Over to you, Toastmaster Pranali.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Gaurav, and I hope everyone is clear with the timings. And if not, we'll be even sharing these notes in the comment section. Before I proceed, may I know that if Vidita is present in the room? Hello, Vidita. Are you there in the call?
I think she might join a bit late. Probably
Okay.
we can have that post-educational session.
Okay, sure, sure. All right. Thank you, Sharat. And now let's move to the one of most valuable segment of today, which is our educational session. Because in today's world, learning how to handle change is not optional anymore. It is essential. It is my absolute honor to introduce our keynote speaker today, Vidyut Datta. His Toastmaster journey started in 2019, and he has served in multiple leadership roles, including club growth director, program quality director, and currently and district director for District 92 and IIT Bombay postgraduate and distinguished Toastmaster. He's known for his calm leadership and strategic thinking. Professionally, he worked as a knowledge and competence management leader at Airbus and actively promotes inclusion and diversity. So he believes being a good leader starts with being a good human being. Please join me in welcoming Vidyut Datta.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Pranali. Just to get used to the room, maybe. I hope everyone can see me clearly. Those who are joined virtually. Yeah, okay, thank you. So today I have a very difficult challenge, right? To engage the audience right after lunch. Right? I'm sure all of you just finished your lunch, and I am here trying to deliver an educational session. So I will try not to do it as an educational session. Instead, I would like to share some of my experiences with public speaking, right? And when I connected with your area director, Toastmaster Anil, and I asked him, what are the things which you want me to share? He said two things. First is, how has Toastmasters helped you in your professional journey? And how can you become a powerful speaker? Now, I don't know whether I have become a powerful speaker. I think that's the journey which you have always. But then I would like to share how I started my journey in Toastmasters. So how many of you would like to hear a story? Right, I can see all hands in the room. Abhilash, Gaurav, Sharat, Anil, all of them have raised their hands. And I'm very sure those who are there virtually would also like to listen to a story. But before that, let me do a quick check. How many of you are Toastmasters in this meeting? Right? Those who are there joined virtually, you can probably raise your virtual hands. If you'd like to share whether you're already part of Toastmasters. Okay, Pranali is you're of course a part of Toastmasters, I know. But how about the others? Those of who are already Toastmasters? More hands? Wow, we have quite a lot of guests then who have joined the meeting. Great, amazing. So let me start with sharing an anecdote which some of you might have heard or some of you might hear. If you can speak well, you can lead well. How many of you believe in this? Right? If you can speak well, you can lead well. What if someone doesn't know how to speak well? Can they lead well?
Difficult.
Difficult, but possible. It's difficult. Those of you who are joined virtually, you can also raise your hand, right, to share your preferences. So let me tell you what I believed in when I started my experiences with public speaking. And this was back in the year 2016, when I was doing my post-graduation at IIT Bombay. And I came from a very small city called Durgapur. And the city of Bombay, so many opportunities. You just step in there and you want to explore everything. And one fine day, I received a mail which said, nominations are invited for the head of the Institute Student Mentorship Program. Right? There is a mentorship program which was run by our institute, and they were inviting nominations for people who would like to lead this initiative. And I just loved mentoring, and I just applied for this without even thinking what am I signing up for. There was a series of interviews which happened, different nominations which were invited from across the college. And then I went through the process and I got selected as the head of the Institute Student Mentorship Program. And the first thing which I had to do as the head of the Student Mentorship Program was to address my team of 200 members. Right? And if you can imagine someone who hasn't even started public speaking, you are asked to address a team of 200 students. The real challenge came on the day of the all-team meet, which I had to organize. Gradually, one by one, I could see people coming into the room. And as and when the room started getting full, my fear started increasing. With every person walking into the room, I felt another additional pair of eyes waiting to judge me and find mistakes in whatever I share. I had prepared a presentation for around 10 minutes. And can you guess in how much time I finished my presentation?
3 minutes.
3 minutes? Okay, you are close, not exactly. I finished the entire presentation in 4 minutes. And the reason was, I almost forgot half the things which I had prepared. I had multiple dry runs to practice and to ensure that I deliver the perfect presentation. But I blanked out in between. I almost forgot half the things. I looked at the presentation and somehow read out the presentation. And at the end of it, the faculty advisor who was there, I thought he would be very angry at me and he will tell me, what have you done with you? The first day of the meeting and this is the kind of impression you give to your team. Instead, he came to me and said, Vidyut, you did a good job, considering you have just started your journey as a leader. And that's the day when I had my first experience with the fear of public speaking. What happens when you have a room full of people and you just struggle to connect with the audience, to maintain your calm and composure and deliver the perfect message. What did I do next? I went to my room, and for the next couple of days, I was so embarrassed I did not speak with anyone. I thought I have made a mess out of this entire journey. What should I do? Should I step down? And then my roommate who was there, I shared this with him. And he told me something. He said, Vidyut, now that you have realized that this is something which you have to work on, why don't you start looking at some program or something which can help you to overcome the fear of public speaking? What did I do? I went back to my hostel room. I took my laptop. I searched for best ways to overcome the fear of public speaking. And the topmost result was, of course, Toastmasters. But then the challenge was, the nearest Toastmasters club was 30 kilometers away. And you know the city of Mumbai, right? And committing to that time on a weekday was really challenging. So I thought, no, maybe this is not something which I should look for. Probably I will try to figure out something on my own. I did finish my tenure as the head of the student mentorship program. How did I do it? I started small by connecting with small groups of people, trying to ensure that I become comfortable with small group of people before I start addressing large gatherings. Day by day, the improvement happened, and I could see the power of practicing and getting better at something which you want to work on. Fast forward to the year 2018, and this is the year when I joined Airbus, the current company which I work for. The day when I joined the company, within a few days, I received a mail from the HR saying that we are planning to open a Toastmasters club in the company. And you can see how the dots are connecting, right? I wanted to join Toastmasters, I couldn't. I joined a company, and on the very first day, I get a mail saying that we are planning to start a Toastmasters club. So how many of you know what is a demo meeting in Toastmasters? I don't want to use a lot of Toastmasters jargons because there are a lot of new people, but how many of you know what is a demo meeting? Of course, not you, Anil. You know what is a demo meeting. You know what is a demo meeting in Toastmasters?
Got it.
Probably you can guess from the name itself.
How the session is gonna be? What is
Demonstration.
the demonstration?
Toastmasters session. So whenever you want to start a new Toastmasters club in any organization, the leadership usually requests for a demo meeting. So it is a meeting where we do it like a regular Toastmasters meeting, But the intention is more to show everyone how the program works, what are the things they can look forward to. We had our very first demonstration meeting in my company, and in this meeting we had more than 200 people who had joined the meeting as audience. And you would all know about table topics for sure, those who are in Toastmasters, but for the purpose of others, the guests who have joined, a table topics session is a session where you are invited to come up on the stage and speak impromptu on a topic for 1 or 2 minutes, right? And I'm sure everyone who is in Toastmasters, you would recall the first time when you had attempted a table topics. It's really challenging when you have to speak on the spot on a topic for 1 or 2 minutes. In the demo meeting which we had in the company, we had the table topic session in which the Toastmaster of the day wanted volunteers to come for the table topic session. He said, who would be the first volunteer for the table topics? I thought of raising my hands. I had almost raised it, but then I lowered it down. No, I don't want to make a fool of myself. Let me not do it. The second table topic, are there any volunteers who would like to take up the second topic? I did a little better, I raised my hand a little higher, but then something stopped me. That why do you want to attempt it now itself? You still have some time. Why do you want to make a fool of yourself in front of so many people? I did not do it. Third topic, fourth topic. I just couldn't gather the courage to come up there on the stage and attempt the topic without having the fear of failing at my attempt of having table topics. Next up, there was a mail from the HR saying that now that we have the demo meeting, we would now like to invite nominations for people who would like to join the Toastmasters Club. And without any hesitation, I signed up for the Toastmasters membership. What happened next? We received a mail saying that we would now conduct our first Toastmasters meeting. Who would like to nominate for the first prepared speaker for the first meeting? And this time, I said, I will raise my hand. I volunteered to be the first prepared speaker of our very first Toastmasters meeting. And the very first speech which you deliver in Toastmasters is called icebreaker speech. Right? When you break the ice, when you introduce yourself to everyone, and you share things which they don't know about you. And eventually, I was the only speaker who had nominated for that meeting. So it means that I had a lot of pressure to ensure that the meeting goes well, and in the very first meeting, I deliver a very good speech. What did I do? I took up paper, I prepared a lot of notes, I wrote down the entire script. I kept the script in front of me. And while I was delivering the speech, I was so nervous that I was referring to the script many a times. I fumbled many a times. I had prepared a speech for 6 minutes. I finished it in 4.5 minutes. But at the end of the day, the entire room clapped. And those of you who are in Toastmasters would know that in Toastmasters, we appreciate every speaker, everyone who comes on the stage. We encourage the fact that the speaker has taken up their time and they have taken up that courage to come up on the stage and deliver their speech. Something happened that day. I was embarrassed, but then something happened that day. Something changed. The fear of failing somehow went away. I was not afraid of making mistakes anymore. I volunteered for almost all the other meetings in any capacity, whether it be the timer role, the Toastmaster of the day, attempting a table topics, and bit by bit, I could see the transformation. Bit by bit, I could see the confidence which I was getting by delivering the speeches, by taking up roles, and giving people evaluations and feedback. Have you ever faced a situation like this in your own personal and professional journey, where you wanted to do something, but something stopped you from doing it? How many of you have faced that situation in your own personal and professional lives as well, where you wanted to do something, but something stopped you? Right? All of you? Gradually, I could see the improvement, and I could indeed believe in the fact that if you can speak well, you can lead well. This also led me to the other leadership roles which I took up in Toastmasters, starting with the club officer roles. Of course, many of you are club officers here. And gradually I discovered the wonderful world of Toastmasters, where you have a very positive and supportive environment, where people encourage you to grow, and they are there to support you at every step of the journey. Right now, while I see in this meeting room, there are a lot of new people who have joined the meeting. I just wanted to quickly check that what is that one fear which you have, which is stopping you from taking up a leadership role? It can be answered by anyone across the room. One fear which you have, which is stopping you from taking up a leadership role, or which is stopping you to lead anything which you want to lead.
What if you fail? That is.
What if you fail? Okay.
What if you are not able to complete that commitment, whatever?
What if you are not able to complete that commitment? Yes, Abhilash?
Making mistakes publicly.
Making mistakes publicly, right? The same fear even I had. Anyone from the virtual audience?
The fear of being judged.
Being judged, okay. Anyone else? I hope the virtual audience, I hope after lunch, I know it's after lunchtime, but any other responses around the room? How about you, Anil?
For me, the continuous improvement, like, the bothering, like whether we are going in the right direction,
Yeah.
or maybe we are making the steps and taking positive results.
Yeah.
But we started with the fear.
Same thing. I'm sure everyone in the room, we started with the same fear of being judged, fear of making mistakes, and the fear of not living up to the commitment which we have made. This is where the power of the community of Toastmaster comes in. And all of us, in every meeting, what do? We just come up here on the stage, we practice speaking in front of an audience, we receive positive feedback, and that's something which is very unique about this community called Toastmasters, where you have a peer-to-peer feedback mechanism which helps you to grow and which helps you to improve. So dear members and guests of Radisys, this is a wonderful platform which all of you can be a part of, and you can start reaping the benefits from the very first day. Step outside of your comfort zone, take that first step of being a part of this wonderful community called Toastmasters, and I'm very sure that after a few months, probably you will be here on the stage and sharing with everyone how you have benefited from this wonderful platform called Toastmasters. Thank you so much. And with this, I hand over the stage back to our Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Pranali. I'm happy to take if there are any questions. I don't know if we have some time to take a few questions.
Yeah, sure.
We can take a few questions if there are any questions.
So how does feedback work? Like usually do we get feedback? Are there specific positions in the club? Are the people who are supposed to be giving feedback? Is that how it works, or is just anybody in the club?
So the wonderful part about this program is feedback can be given by any member to any other member. So what usually happens is that in a meeting, you have multiple roles which are taken up by the members. For example, you have a prepared speaker, you have a general evaluator, you have a Toastmaster of the day. For every role, there is a feedback which is shared by the general evaluator. There's a general evaluator who shares feedback for the overall meeting. But then when you deliver your speech, you get feedback from an evaluator. And this evaluator can be any of your fellow members in the club. So there is no restriction in terms of who shares feedback with whom. And in fact, even outside the role, it is a very open platform where anyone can share feedback with anyone else to help them improve. It is a very structured process in Toastmasters where you have a proper evaluation form where you are given all the different parameters on the basis of which you will have to evaluate. And a typical evaluation, you look at points for improvement, areas of strength, and also areas where you can ask the speaker to take up some challenges. So all these are included in the feedback mechanism and the structure which we have in Toastmasters. Any other questions? Yes, Gaurav.
So as being as a leader, like as you are working in your professional, you have a professional journey. Along with that, you are leading such a big organization. So I just want to understand how critical is the role of time management. How do you handle it, and if you can give some tips to apply it, like from today onwards, we can apply.
Apt question on time management coming from the timer of the meeting. So, okay. See, something which all of you would have realized, right? sometimes when we step into something which is outside of our comfort zone, it always creates a sense of fear. What if we fail? What if we are not able to live up to the commitments, right? Exactly the point which you mentioned. But how many of you have felt that when you have stepped up to something which you felt which you couldn't, something which you felt that you cannot do, that eventually when you step into that role, somehow your capacity and ability to do things increases? Have you felt that?
Yeah.
Right? That is how growth happens. When you step up into a leadership role, you will have multiple commitments for sure. And that is where you start getting better at managing things. When you have multiple commitments, and we all know that we have limited time, that's where the power of prioritization comes. That's where the power of utilizing your team and delegating tasks also comes in. When you step up into a leadership role, you don't have to accomplish tasks or your roles and responsibilities alone. For example, if you talk about the club president is also called as the CEO of the club, right? The person who runs the entire club. But is it possible for one person to run the entire club? It's not possible. You have a team of people. So once you step into the role of a president, what does the president have to do? The president have to ensure that every team member is empowered to do their roles and responsibilities, and the president is there to support, delegating tasks, prioritizing tasks. So that's where when you step up into a role where you have a lot of commitments, and I'm very sure it will happen. For example, if you go for the role of a president, or even the role of an area director, which Anil here is playing the role of an area director. Once you have multiple commitments, you start prioritizing, and that's why your ability to manage your time also automatically increases. Any other questions? Gaurav is almost ready to show me the red card. Anything else which anyone wanted to ask or no? Maybe from the virtual audience, any questions? Okay, Gaurav has shown me the red card with that. Thank you so much, everyone. It was a pleasure being here as a part of this open house meeting. I wish all the members and all the prospective guests who are ready to sign up as members all the very best in your journey. This is a very powerful program. It has been there for more than 100 years now. And I am very sure that all of you will benefit from this amazing community for relations. Thank you so much. And with this, I hand over the stage back to our Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Pranali. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Vidyut, for that insight. And I'm very sure that many of us are very inspired with your story. And you have shown us firsthand that while change can be uncomfortable at first and messy in the middle, but it is always beautiful at the end. And I'm sure we all will take a great takeaway from your experience. So with that, let's proceed ahead. Before that, can I get a confirmation if we have Vidita Care here present as an evaluator?
Yes, yes, I'm
Yeah,
here.
yeah. Thank you, Vidita. So in Toastmaster, as we know, every speech becomes more impactful through meaningful feedback, right? And we have even discussed in the current session, which was given by Bidyut. So, and for today's evaluator, we have someone who brings both experience and leadership to the table. We have Vidita Kher. She has been a Toastmaster since May 2019. She has completed multiple pathways, including visionary communication and innovative planning. And she is currently progressing in motivational strategies. She has served as a club coach, is a two-time Triple Crown Award winner, and is currently serving as an area director for Area I3, District 92. Professionally, she is a technical lead at Visa. Beyond her professional life, she enjoys writing poetry and creating content on public speaking on YouTube. Let's welcome our evaluator for today for Sharat speech, Vidita Kher, to explain
Thank
her
you.
evaluation.
Thank you so much, Pranali. Can you confirm if I'm audible?
Yeah, you are audible as well as you are visible.
Thank you so much. So, my target speaker, Toastmaster Sharath, would be attempting his Reflect on Your Path speech from the pathway Engaging Humor. The purpose of this speech is for the member to share some aspect of their growth during the completion of their path. Timer, please note the time sequence for this speech is 10 to 12 minutes. And I wish you all the best, Toastmaster Saroj, for your speech. Over to you, Toastmaster Pranali.
Thank you so much, Vidita. And with that, let's proceed with our speech, which will be given by Toastmaster Sharath. So he's someone who has inspired me personally to go ahead and speak and have all that courage without having that fear of losing or having that fear of the stage. So please welcome today's speaker, Toastmaster Sharath.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of Day, Pranali, and a very good afternoon, one and all. Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters, and good afternoon, guests. I don't know if I can already live up to the expectations of what Pranali has given the hype, but nevertheless, I'll just try my best. And I really hope, see, the most difficult thing to do here is to follow your speech right after a speaker from a distinguished member speak. Right, so we have distinguished Toastmaster Vidyut Datta with us, who just gave a wonderful speech, and I hope all of you are inspired to join and be part of the Toastmasters journey. So that makes my life a bit more easier, because my speech here today is all about my Toastmasters journey. And I thought that this open session is a perfect opportunity for me to express my feelings about my journey in Toastmasters. And that way, if I can at least inspire some of you to be part of the club, then so be it, right? So now I have a quick confession to make. When I initially started my Toastmasters journey, I did not start it with a lot of confidence. I started my Toastmasters journey with a lot of confusion, lack of clarity, and a lot of source. So I know some of the Toastmasters here will be able to understand what I mean to say. But apparently, it looks like every time I speak, I used to use the so word so much, so many times. Like either at the beginning of the sentence, I'll always start my sentences with so. So I am here to talk about something. So I believe this. So let us move forward. And then this was an eye-opening moment for me in Toastmasters, because until then I did not know I had this problem. And believe me, no one ever told me that I had this problem, that I use so many so's. I used to always believe I'm okay in my communication. I should not be that bad. And then the eye-opening moment came and I joined Toastmasters. Now, coming to my journey. So I joined again. So, right? I'm getting conscious now. But I'm sure I'm much better than when I started my journey. Trust me. When I started back in 2019, when I joined Radisys, I had absolutely no clue what this Toastmasters is. I had not even heard about Toastmasters before. Anybody here who has never heard of Toastmasters before, who has joined us today? Okay. You know now, but maybe back then you never had an idea what Toastmasters is, right? Exactly. Now, I used to observe there was this curious group of people who used to go and sit inside a room, and then I could hear them talk about something. Some people will be talking very confidently on the stage, but my eyes were always on the snacks that were distributed. I used to think, who are this cult group of people who get to meet in person in the meeting room? This was back in 2019, before COVID, the good times where we used to come to office every day, right? And I used to see this group of people inside the room talking, chit-chatting, and then they used to have nice snacks. I was like, okay, how to be part of this? Who are these group of people? They look so cool. But then I had just joined Radisys, and I was already, my plate was full. I was trying to understand a lot of things about the company's culture, etc. I did not have any time to know about the Toastmasters. Now then, the beautiful moment came, Codathon. How many of you have been part of Radisys Codathon events before? Okay, we used to have this annual Codathon event, and as part of this annual Codathon event at Radisys, there was always this slot given to Toastmasters, which was an open session, like how we are having now. We used to have a lot of curious employees join as part of that open session of Toastmasters, and they used to try their hands on table topics. Usually in the Codathon open sessions, we used to have this category of table topics, where you can try to become a better impromptu speaker because you're not coming pre-prepared, right? You're given a topic right then and there, and you have to talk about it. Now, I was also curious. I anyway wanted to understand how to get the snacks and be part of this cult group. I also wanted to join. I joined this session of open session of Codathon meets Toastmasters session. And then the table topic section was started. So initially, again, so please note, initially, when they just started the session, they spoke about how Toastmasters is for the benefit of guests who had no idea how you can become a better speaker, how you can own the stage, etc. And then they moved on to this segment called table topics segment. This is where guests can try their hands on table topics. I was thinking, okay, let's see. And I could literally see almost 60 or 70 people join that meeting because always energy level is high at the time of Codathon. And this person is asking, okay, do we have some volunteers? Do we have any volunteer for the table topics? I did not see a single hand go up. And then I could see that some of the Toastmaster members, they themselves who had joined, they said, okay, let me at least, volunteer and try to show how it is done. We had 1 or 2 members give a sample on how a table topics work. They were given a topic then and there, and they have to speak about 1 to 2 minutes. They did that. After that, also people were hesitant. They were not ready to raise their hands. And this was happening as an in-person session, and people were also given the opportunity to join online. I could see several people, though they were here in person at office, they joining online because they don't want to be put on the spot. That exactly is the reason why you should join Toastmasters. At that time, I too was there. I was feeling very bad for the organizers. I thought, okay, let me raise my hand. And then my heart was almost beating like a DJ machine. DJ machine. I could literally hear my heart beat because it was beating that badly. But I raised my hand. And then they gave me a topic. And I thought I did not do that bad. I was thinking, I was feeling proud. That was maybe one of the first time after a long time that I was joining in a big platform and trying to speak. I was feeling very satisfied because I did not die at least with my DJ heart that day. I escaped with my DJ heart, and then after that, this is 10 minutes, right?
No.
Okay, sure, thank you. After that, I was approached by this member of Toastmasters Club, Mr. Adarsh Lakshmana. He said that, Sharath, I see something in you. I think you can do well. And I think you need the club and the club needs you. That was the day I started my Toastmasters journey. And I've never looked back since. Okay. Now I have a confession to make. I have a list of pointers here noted down so that I do not miss on anything important, right? Now why I joined Toastmasters? I joined Toastmasters mainly for 2 things. 1, to improve my public speaking skills, and 2, to reduce my anxiety, right? There's the statistics that say that people are okay to do skydiving than do a public speaking. Imagine the level of fear public speaking has on people, right? You would rather jump 10,000, 20,000 feet high in the sky with a parachute, which you don't even know if it will open or not, which can literally kill you, than come here and say, good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters. That's how difficult, unfortunately, looks like as per statistics it is. So now why I joined Toastmasters is I wanted to overcome that fear and be present here, and that's why I am here, right? So now moving towards my path. Whenever you join a Toastmasters, you have this opportunity to select which path you want to choose. I'll not go into the technicalities of it. There's something called as visionary speaker, presentation mastery, engaging humor. Now that's when I chose engaging humor. Why? Because I always believe that whenever you're giving a speech, there are 2 things that is most powerful you can do whenever you're giving a speech. One is the power of storytelling. You tell a nice story, a beautiful story, or about the skydiving, which I just now did, and you can relate. And second is the power of humor. I used to feel humor is something that can always, captivate the audience when you're having a long speech. I thought, yes, engaging humor. This is the one. Let me choose this pathway. And I started my journey with the engaging humor pathway. Now, the first speech which you give as part of your pathway is called icebreaker. Because exactly, my friends, that's what you need, especially those people who are here, who are fearful to even raise their hand virtually, not coming on a camera. They're the people who especially need Toastmasters. Like I was there, right? So, icebreaker speech. Now, icebreaker speech is something where you start your speaking journey. Now, my friends, that is the toughest speech you can ever give in your life. Because that will be the first time you will be doing something new, something out of your comfort zone. And then you come and give your icebreaker speech. Now, icebreaker speech is something as simple as introducing yourself to your club members. You talk about yourselves, your hobbies, what you like, or your life journey, which is supposed to be the easiest thing to do. But still, it's going to be one of the toughest things because you have the anxiety, the fear, how to face the crowd, etc. Now, for that, my friends, you have to join the Toastmasters and start your journey with the icebreaker speech. Now, after my icebreaker speech, I got my first reality check. As my friend Abhilash was telling here, like how evaluation is there, right? We have an evaluator right here for me who would be evaluating my speech. Like that, we have another role taker called R counter. Now, our counter is the person who's going to note down how many R's, so's, etc. you had used during your speech. After my icebreaker speech, the first reality kicked in. I had done almost 27 plus so's. I was thinking, how can somebody even tell 27, 30 so's during a small speech? And I thought I was not bad at it, right? That's your first reality check. Since then, I know I've come across a long way, and at least I'm not using that many sources now. At least for that sake, to understand where you are right now, please be part of this beautiful journey. Now, coming to the power of Toastmasters environment. As distinguished Toastmaster Vidyut Datta said, we provide a very supportive and positive environment where members are encouraged to improve their speaking abilities and leadership skills. We are encouraged. Here it's a very supportive and positive environment because no matter what, once your speech is done, people are going to applaud. They're going to say, yes, well done. That way, this is one of the best platforms that you can get to showcase and become better speaker. Because the problem these days, my friends, is you don't even get a platform. You don't get an opportunity. How many of you even get an opportunity to stand in a dais and speak? Right? So this is the right time, the right opportunity, my friends, where you can be part of this wonderful journey called Toastmasters. Utilize the opportunity, come here, you discover about yourself, like how I discovered about my source. You can probably discover about your source and ands and ums and become better at it. Right? That way, my friends, please do join Toastmasters, start your journey, and I hope at least some of you are motivated enough to understand and learn more about Toastmasters. Thank you so much, and back to you, Toastmaster Pranali, to take it forward from here. Thank you.
Thank you, Sharad, for that wonderful experience and all the insights that you have shared. With that, I still remember my first ever speech that I had given, which was Icebreaker, when my heart was pumping so fast that I was genuinely worried that it was going to jump out and give speech for me. But looking back, I realized stepping out on that stage was one of the way I embrace universal truth, that is change is the new constant. So with that, let's proceed with our next section of today's session, that is the evaluation. So for that, I would request Toastmaster Gaurav to present his timer reports before we proceed for our evaluation. So Toastmaster Gaurav, could you please show us our reports for timers?
two amazing speeches. One was the educational session, which was delivered by our distinguished Toastmaster Vidyu Datta, and it was ended spot on time. He took only 20 minutes. The next speech is L5P3 speech delivered by Sharad. Sharad took 12 minutes 40 seconds. Actually, I missed 10 seconds because I was so mesmerized when he was delivering his speech. So I raised my red card 10 seconds late. So it is not his fault. I would say it is my fault. But his speech was amazing and he finished his speech within time. Yeah, that's all from the speech side. I will be noting down time for evaluation as well. So once evaluation is over, I will share the report. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Gaurav. Hope our evaluator has noted the time. And may I invite our evaluator for the reports? Or to you, Toastmaster Vidita.
Thank you so much. So my timing for evaluation is 2 to 3 minutes. I will be shown the card, right? Okay, thank you. Timer, you may begin now. Good afternoon, everyone. It was my pleasure to evaluate such a profound speaker from your club, who also happens to be the club president. And it is such an honorable feat to complete a whole pathway and then reflect on your whole pathway in 10 to 12 minutes, talking about a journey of, let's say, for him, he started in 2020. So the last 6 years journey, wrapping up in 10 to 12 minutes is no small thing. Kudos to you on that. Since it is your pathway and it is special to you, I thought to divide or give your evaluation in the acronym of your name. So I have feedback for each of the letters in your name, starting with S. So first thing is, you were so spirited. You were so energetic on stage, and the word "so," you were honest about admitting that, okay, everybody has filler words. Your most favorite filler word was "so." So thank you for showing that to us and being that energetic and spirited throughout with the various examples that you gave. Coming to the letter H, was the icing on the cake or also your pathway, that is engaging humor. You were hilarious throughout the stage, where you were also making us count how many times you said so. And how was your experience with that DJ machine kind of a situation where a heart was beating so fast? So that humor is very important when you're giving a long speech. Otherwise, the audience may get deviated or bored throughout. So I noticed that, as well as I noticed that how lightly you were taking yourself and making us all aware that we all can make mistake in this long journey, and that is very important for all of us to learn. Coming to the letter A in your word, Sharat, I found you articulate. It was a very long speech. You had to deliver the speech or the message in different ways. So you used words and phrases very in a good way, especially when you talked about how you found out about Toastmasters through Codathon event and the whole thing. That really helped me connect, and that also had the aspect of storytelling. Coming to the letter R, you were quite resourceful because throughout your speech you explained the journey with examples, what Toastmaster is all about, what is pathway means, what is an icebreaker speech, the importance of it, and what is a TTM session. Because TTM session is where guests can come in and definitely increase the vibrancy of your club. Now coming to the next letter A, again, I thought you talked about a little bit about anxiety. So how to reduce anxiety, but also a negative point, but it ensures that we all become anxious on stage, and how you coped up your anxiety on stage. And that is something, again, I would like to applaud, because not everybody goes out and talks about their weaknesses so openly, and that is relatable to all of us. Coming to the letter T, I think you were thoughtful enough to sprinkle or bundle your message around the 10 to 12 minutes, where you talked about that how many of us actually get an opportunity or a stage like this to come and give our thoughts. And also, those who are not on camera should come on camera and experience this. So that was a very thoughtful message, I felt. Coming to the last letter H, that was, you were very honest about your whole journey, where you talked about that you joined with confusion, but you are coming out as a clear speaker. And initially you thought that it was all about the snacks. So that was also honest for you to come up and talk. I would I want to give you a challenge, Sharath. Since you have completed your path, maybe take the next path or become mentor to new members and be a part of their journey. Sometimes someone else's success also becomes our success. So if you are able to help 2 or 3 more members complete their path, I think that will be a good success story for you as well. With that, I hand it over back to the TMOD. It was a long speech, so I have to wrap it up. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Vidita. It was wonderful, and I'm gonna keep this practice of like giving your evaluation based on their name. That was wonderful, and thanks a lot for sharing your evaluation. So before we move ahead, can we have our timing report for evaluation?
For evaluation speech, Vidita took 3 minutes and 45 seconds, which is 15 seconds beyond the allowed time. But as we know, it was a very long speech. It was very difficult to wrap it up in 3 minutes. So yeah, that's all from my side. Over to you,
Thank
Toastmaster.
you. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Gaurav. So, with that, as we come to the end of the session, let me remind you something. Change will happen with or without us. Growth happens only if we move with it. Because change is uncomfortable at first, messy in the middle, but always, always beautiful at the end. With that, I'd like to hand over control back to our president, Toastmaster Sharat.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the Day, Pranali, for that taking us through that wonderful journey on how change is the constant, especially true with the current scenario of war, and we don't know what's going to happen next, but keeping things positive. Thanks everybody. Thanks to all the guests who have joined us here. A special thanks to all of you. I know it is not easy to take time away from your working time to come and join us, but please do try to join us even more and try to get the benefit out of Toastmasters, because not all companies have Toastmasters Club. You know that you have a company which has a Toastmasters Club, which is a corporate sponsored club. I would encourage all of you to please utilize it to the maximum benefit. And I would also like to thank again a distinguished Toastmaster Vidyut Datta, who had to unfortunately leave early due to some personal commitments. But thanks a lot for taking out time for us. And I would also like to thank Area Director Anil Reddy, who is there with us. He has always been a constant support for the club. Thank you so much for pushing us as a club, and thank you so much for your encouragement. And of course, he's here with one more mission. We are going to have a help desk set up at our cafeteria, at sixth floor cafeteria, Bangalore office. I urge all of the employees who are here in person at Bangalore office, kindly do visit us. We are going to have the help desk set up and running around 3 o'clock. We'll try to set it up before that also, but at least try to visit us around 3 o'clock, and we'll be happy to explain more to you about Toastmasters and how you can be part of our club, about Toastmasters International, etc. We are there to help with all the queries. Please do join us at cafeteria and approach us with the help desk. And anything from your end, Anil, I would like to hand over the stage quickly to Area Director Anil. Over to you.
Thank you very much, sir. And first of all, thank you very much, Vidita, to taking time here and coming and helping the SoundBytes evaluation today. And also, thank you very much for all the guests, because the guests are honored, and it's very important for us, for all the guests being here today. And only one thing to add here is like we don't have any the age limit for learning, and also no limit for learning, and no limit for the trials, because the safe place to fail is the Toastmasters. So stage is ready, things are set up, and the program is clear, and the company sponsored, and nothing else. Like we just need to step in to start the journey. So we don't get this much the proper environment, because people are struggling outside to pay from their pocket and get learning. But here company actually is sponsoring and also making better speakers in the company, which is very rare situation. Please utilize that, and within 1 year you can see the difference, the way that you deal with the situations. So the Toastmasters is not only the communication, because the communication is only one part of the learning, but we have the leadership, we have the event management, we have a better negotiator, and we have a better the storyteller. Everything will happen in the stage. So how better you practice, how much you practice, that way that you become the new version of yourself. So all the very best from the club and from the guest to make the future in a better version. And as we are there as a Toastmasters International representatives, and we will help you whatever the way that we can. And thank you very much. Over to you, sir.
Thanks a lot, Anil, for that words of wisdom. Again, a lot of encouragement here for people to come and understand more about our club and Toastmasters. And again, before I forget, right, thanks a lot, Vidita, for taking out time for us today. And it was a great evaluation. And I'm sure that I'll try to follow most of what you said, and I will try to, take up the challenge that you have given me as well. Thanks a lot for taking out time for us. And I hope this session was fruitful, helpful, and we were able to impart some idea about what Toastmasters is about. Now, again, to understand more, we always have the help desk. If you are there, Bangalore office, please do come to the cafeteria. And thanks once again to each and every one of you. Thanks Pranali, Gaurav for the role taking, and thanks each and every one of you for joining us today. And with that, we can wind up, and we'll see you soon in the help desk. Thank you.
Thank you all for joining. Hope to see you all.
Thank you.